Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're looking at Eli Lilly
LLY.
and trying to figure out if it's a good fit for your portfolio.
Absolutely.
We've pulled together their company website and analyst ratings and
The stock analysis.
news articles, all that good stuff.
That's right.
So we can get the full picture.
Yep.
What do you think? Where should we start with this one?
I think the first thing that jumps out is just the size of this company.
It's massive.
Eli Lilly's market cap is over $715 billion.
It's crazy. That puts them as like the 13th most valuable company globally, which is wild.
Yeah.
And they've seen, what, almost a 30% increase
Almost 30?
in market cap this year alone?
Which is just phenomenal. And it puts them way ahead of
Really good.
some of their competitors like Bristol-Myers Squibb and Merck and even Pfizer.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is tied to their
That seems like, yeah.
their weight loss drug, Mounjaro.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Mounjaro, yeah, approved late last year.
Late 2023.
And share prices jumped up 39% since January.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Huge.
But we got to look beyond the hype a little bit.
Yeah, right.
There's got to be more to the story.
Because Novo Nordisk
With Wegovy.
is already a big player.
It's a big competitor, yeah.
Especially in China. And I even saw
Really?
the FDA issued a warning about counterfeit Ozempic, which is another one of Novo Nordisk's weight loss drugs,
Whoa.
flooding the market.
That's wild.
So there's clearly a huge demand.
There is.
But there are also risks that investors need to think about.
So they're in a race.
Yeah, it's a heated market.
Is this weight loss success just a fleeting trend?
Yeah, is it a fad or is there more to this company?
Is there more? Yeah.
Well, luckily we have more info to dig into. It's easy to get caught up in the,
Exciting.
the hype around Mounjaro.
Yeah.
But Eli Lilly's portfolio
It's bigger.
is actually surprisingly diverse.
It goes way beyond weight loss.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
They have major products.
Yeah, in like
Oncology, diabetes.
immunology even.
Yeah. Their cancer drug, Verzenio,
Mm-hmm.
is doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
And then you have, of course, their established diabetes treatments like Humalog and Humulin,
Right.
which have been cornerstones for them for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're also tackling some really difficult diseases.
I was reading about that.
They recently got approval for Kisunla,
Yeah, for Alzheimer's.
which is an Alzheimer's treatment, and that puts them in direct competition with
Glycogen.
Biogen and Eisai's Leqembi.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so they're not a one-trick pony.
not at all. They're very ambitious.
They are.
Okay.
And how does that ambition translate into,
Yeah, how does that translate into numbers?
the actual numbers? Yeah.
That's where it gets.
Let's look at their performance.
Yeah, let's look at performance.
Okay.
They have been beating sales estimates consistently over the past year, and analysts are predicting
Really?
that their stock could climb over 31%
In the next 12 months.
in the next 12 months.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Those are some big numbers.
Big numbers, but I have seen some warnings about
Let's see that too.
their valuation.
Yeah.
Could they be overpriced?
Is it too much?
It's a valid question, and Morningstar,
Yeah.
which is a well-respected investment research firm,
Mm.
has given them a high uncertainty rating.
Oh.
And they suggest that the stock might be trading at a 37% premium.
Okay, so that's
So there's potential for growth there, but
potential risk. Yeah.
there's also the risk that you might be overpaying.
Okay, good point.
Yeah,
But they do seem to be investing pretty heavily in their future.
they are.
I read that they acquired 26 companies in the last few years.
26.
That's a lot of growth.
It is a lot, and it's been very focused,
Oh, interesting.
mainly in oncology and neurology.
So they're not just buying up whatever they can.
No, they have a strategy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
What's that?
They're financially strong,
Uh-huh.
dominating the market. They're constantly innovating.
They are. It's
It sounds almost too good to be true.
I know it's tempting to get swept away by all the positive,
Yeah.
but as with any investment, we have to look at the pros and the cons.
Let's do that.
Okay.
What are some of the biggest pros?
Of owning Eli Lilly,
Yeah.
I'd say strong financial performance,
Okay.
a commanding position in the market.
Uh-huh.
They're coming out with these exciting new drugs
In those high growth areas. Yeah.
in really key high growth areas.
Yeah.
They have a robust pipeline of potential breakthroughs.
Right.
And they have those consistent dividend payouts.
Yes, that bet $1.30 per share.
Yes, exactly.
That's attractive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are all great things.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a but coming.
There's always a but.
What are some of the cons?
Some of the cons. Well, we've talked about the high valuation, and that is a big concern.
Yeah.
There's always the risk of a market correction.
Yeah.
And a highly valued stock like Eli Lilly could take a hit.
Right.
You also have to think about the competition in the weight loss market.
It's fierce.
It's intense. There are new drugs being developed all the time.
All the time.
And then there's the regulatory landscape.
Oh, right.
Especially in the U.S., where drug pricing is
a hot topic.
A huge issue.
Yeah.
So there's potential for pricing pressure there.
Definitely something to think about.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, are they becoming too reliant?
Too reliant on Mounjaro.
On these big blockbuster drugs like Mounjaro.
That is a big chunk of their business.
Yeah. What happens if...
What if a competitor?
The competitor comes out with a better drug, or if,
Or if it's,
if Mounjaro's popularity just fades.
Yeah, you never know.
It's a risk.
It's a risk for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so much to consider.
So much.
I feel like we've already covered so much ground.
I know, it's a lot.
What stands out to you? Like, what are the most crucial things?
The most crucial things.
For our listener.
Yeah.
When they're deciding if Eli Lilly is a good fit for their portfolio.
I think it's important to remember not to let the hype cloud your judgment.
That's good advice.
Eli Lilly has a ton of potential, but you gotta approach it with a critical eye.
Yeah, don't get swept away.
Exactly. And remember that pharmaceuticals are a long game.
Okay.
Eli Lilly's been around for almost 150 years. They've weathered a lot of storms.
That's reassuring.
Look beyond the short term and focus on the long-term prospects.
Well, that's good advice.
And their ability to adapt and innovate.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I love that it's about seeing the forest for the trees, right?
Exactly.
Don't get lost in the hype of the moment and focus on the big picture.
Exactly.
I want to hear what our listeners are thinking so far.
Me too.
What stands out to you about Eli Lilly?
Yeah, what questions do you have?
Head over to our YouTube channel and drop your thoughts in the comments below.
We love hearing from you.
We do. And get your suggestions for future deep dives.
Yeah, and while you're there,
hit that subscribe button
to stay up to date on all of our latest episodes.
We'll be back in a moment with part 2, where we'll delve deeper into
their services business and their economic impact.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Welcome back. We've been talking about Eli Lilly, and I think it's interesting that they're not just focused on
developing drugs.
Yeah, developing and selling drugs.
Right.
They actually have a whole services business as well.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
So they've kind of recognized that.
That's pretty unusual for...
It is a little unusual, yeah.
A pharma company.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But they've realized that it's not just about
making the drugs,
creating these drugs.
Yeah.
It's also about getting them
to the people who need them.
To the people who need them, especially with the rising...
The cost of medicine is insane.
And the cost of medications these days.
Yeah.
So they have programs to help patients access their treatments.
Makes sense, especially if they're trying to get their new drugs out there.
Absolutely.
They want to make sure people can actually afford them.
It's a win-win.
Right. Yeah.
It's good for their business, and it's also...
socially responsible.
Socially responsible, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And it goes beyond that.
Okay.
They're also really involved in educating healthcare professionals.
Interesting.
About their products and providing resources to support clinical trials.
So they're really taking an active role.
Yeah, they're shaping the landscape
beyond
just selling pills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about fostering a whole ecosystem around their medications.
That's smart.
Yeah, and it really shows their commitment to
healthcare as a whole.
Yeah, having an impact on healthcare.
Which ties back to that ESG, yeah.
That's the environmental, social, and governance factors.
Yeah, we hear more about that these days.
Investors are definitely paying more attention to that.
They are.
It's not just a niche thing anymore. Not anymore.
It can really impact a company's bottom line.
Oh, how so?
Well, if a company has strong ESG ratings,
all right,
they're going to attract more investors.
And probably less scrutiny.
And less regulatory scrutiny.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So Eli Lilly is checking some of those boxes, it seems.
It seems like.
With this focus on access to medicine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about...
And supporting the healthcare system.
What about their economic impact?
Yeah, their economic impact.
They're such a huge company.
They're a huge company.
It must have a pretty big ripple effect.
Oh, for sure. They employ tens of thousands of people.
Globally. Contributing to jobs.
Job creation.
Economic growth.
And their research and development.
Huge R&D budget.
That not only drives innovation within their company,
right,
but it also can advance scientific knowledge as a whole.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, which benefits
other companies,
other sectors.
It's like a chain reaction.
It is. It really is.
Wow. And then, of course, you have to think about the impact of their medications.
On people's lives.
On people's lives.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Helping people live longer.
Healthier lives.
Healthier lives.
Yeah.
And that also has economic consequences, right?
That's true, yeah.
Because a healthier population is more productive.
They're contributing more to the economy.
To the economy.
Wow. It's amazing when you think about it.
It is.
Their impact goes so far beyond
just their profits.
Yeah. It's about improving lives.
And the future of healthcare.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm convinced they're doing some really great things.
Yeah.
But as an investor, I still need to make a decision.
Right.
Is this stock right for my portfolio?
That's the question.
What are the ultimate pros and cons?
Yeah, the pros and cons of owning
a piece of Eli Lilly.
A piece of Eli Lilly. And it really depends on
your situation.
Your individual investment goals.
Risk tolerance.
But let's recap the key pros and cons.
Okay.
So you can make an informed decision.
Okay, let's start with the positive.
Okay.
What makes Eli Lilly a potential winner?
Well, they've got a lot going for them.
Yeah.
They have a dominant market position.
Okay.
They've got this innovative pipeline.
Full of potential breakthroughs, yeah.
They're committed to expanding access to medicine.
Yeah.
And they have that track record of
really strong financial performance.
Impressive financial performance, yeah.
Okay. Those are strong arguments.
They are strong arguments.
But what are some of the downsides?
The downsides.
Yeah, what should investors be wary of?
Well, we've talked about that high valuation.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And that's always a concern.
Right.
You never know what's going to happen with the market.
You never know.
And the competition is fierce.
In that weight loss market especially.
In the weight loss market, and they're dealing with
lots of regulation.
A complex regulatory landscape.
Yeah, especially in the U.S.
Especially in the U.S.
Yeah.
And as we've discussed, they are reliant
on Mounjaro.
On those blockbuster drugs.
So that's both
It's a strength and a vulnerability.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a delicate balance.
It is. It's all about weighing the potential rewards.
Against the risks.
And knowledge is power.
Always.
The more you understand about a company, the better decisions you can make.
Yeah, this deep dive has been so insightful.
It has.
But it's definitely sparked more questions.
It always does.
I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way.
I'm sure.
If you want to learn more about Eli Lilly.
Or if you have any suggestions.
For other topics or companies.
Yeah, head over to our YouTube channel.
Leave a comment below.
We love hearing from you.
We do.
And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive.
We'll be right back.
To wrap up this episode with some final thoughts.
On Eli Lilly.
And look at their dividend policy.
And share buyback program.
Stay tuned.
And we are back for the final part of our deep dive into Eli Lilly.
It's been a journey, hasn't it?
It has. I knew they were a big deal, but I didn't realize everything they had going on.
They're a company that's firing on all cylinders.
They really are.
But of course, you know,
there's always those lingering questions.
As an investor, you always got to be thinking,
is it too good to be true? Am I missing something?
Exactly. And one of the things that I always think about is dividend policy.
Yes. And share buybacks.
Share buybacks.
We touched on it a little bit earlier, but a lot of investors like Eli Lilly, because of those consistent dividend payouts.
Those $1.30 per share payouts.
But is it sustainable?
That's the question, isn't it?
What about the share buybacks?
Yeah, are those a good sign? Or a red flag?
I always get a little nervous about those.
I understand that. It's a valid concern.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, let's start with the dividends. Consistent dividend payout.
That's good, right?
It can be a sign that the company is confident in its future earnings.
They're sharing the wealth a little bit.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, hey, we're doing well.
We want you to benefit.
And we want you to benefit.
That makes me feel good as an investor.
It should.
But how do we know if it's sustainable?
That's the key, right?
What should we be watching out for?
One thing to keep an eye on is the dividend payout ratio.
What's that?
That's the percentage of earnings that are paid out as dividends.
Okay.
If that ratio is too high, it could be a sign that they're stretching themselves thin.
To keep those dividends coming.
To keep those dividends flowing, yeah.
I see.
You also want to look at debt levels.
Debt? Yeah, that makes sense.
Because high debt can really limit
their ability to grow.
Their ability to invest in future growth, yeah.
And to pay those dividends.
Exactly. So it's not just about the dividend itself.
It's the bigger picture.
It's about the overall financial health of the company.
That makes sense. Okay, what about share buybacks?
Share buybacks.
Those are tricky, right?
They can be a little bit tricky.
On the surface, they seem good.
Yeah, it seems like a good thing.
The company's buying back their own stock.
Yeah, they're reducing the number of shares.
Boosts earnings per share.
Which can make the stock more attractive.
Right. It's like they're saying,
we believe in our company.
Yeah, we're putting our money where our mouth is.
Exactly.
But there's a flip side.
There's always a flip side.
Oh, is it?
Well, if they're using buybacks
Yeah.
to artificially inflate their stock price.
Oh, especially
if it's already overvalued.
That's not good.
No, it's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
It might look better on the surface.
Yeah, but
the underlying problems are still there.
So it's all about their motivation.
Exactly. What's the motivation behind the buyback?
Yeah, are they really creating value?
Yeah, are they really creating value for shareholders?
So for Eli Lilly...
Yeah, what's the verdict?
Green light or yellow flag?
Well, based on everything we've seen, Eli Lilly seems to be in a pretty solid position.
Oh.
Their dividend payout ratio is reasonable.
Yeah.
They haven't been doing anything crazy with share buybacks.
So that's good.
That's a good sign.
But we still need to keep an eye on things.
Always. Always. The market changes constantly.
It does. That's why these deep dives are so important.
They are. It's all about doing your research.
Yeah, going beyond the headlines.
Going beyond the headline.
Really understanding the company.
And making informed decisions.
I feel like we've learned so much today.
I agree. It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It has, but it's also raised a lot more questions.
It always does.
I'm sure our listeners feel the same way.
I'm sure they do.
So if you're eager to learn more
about Eli Lilly,
or you have other companies or topics you want us to explore,
head over to our YouTube channel.
Leave a comment below.
We love hearing from you.
We do.
And
hit that subscribe button
so you don't miss our next episode.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Happy investing.